So I don't know. It has been about since February that I've done a live chat or even put out a video. So I'm sorry. Life just gets busy, or quiet time is hard, or there's so many factors. I really should get a chair. I'm out here in my garden today, and I decided this would be the perfect thing. And I'm not going to go too long today. It's not going to be like the normal, let's have a full out chat. But I just want to connect with you. I've been really mulling over so many things. My girls are waiting for me because they want me to, I said we're going to do a task today. And yeah, I'm now distracting myself with something else to do, doing this instead of doing that. All right, so I'm going to grab a chair off my porch and move it to the garden. I should have probably pre-thought that out. So hello. If you don't know me, if this is the first time you're catching me, I am just so Trish, mom to 6, homeschooled over 10 years. We did a bit different this year. I have 2 in high school. Hey, Green Gables, I'm so happy you're there. 2 in high school, 2 in elementary school, and 2 at home. Oh, hey. Love Garden, I love your name. All right, let's see. Do it. Maybe I'll get a good backdrop. Good greenery. Oh, this is nice. I could do this. Okay, so 2 in high school, 2 at home, 2 in elementary school. My 2 in elementary school are kindergarten, first grade. All I can say, hey, Kayla. My 2 bottom ones know how to read, and I didn't have to do all that work. So I'm very excited about that. In fact, I'm catching my 8-year-old son with a Dollar Tree, those Dollar Tree switch lights. I've been catching him reading, like at night or in the morning. He'll wake up and he'll be reading. So that's been phenomenal. My high school kids are doing really good. My 7th grader who's home with me is yes, those are the loofahs. I do have, they look good though, right? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 so far, and that was from I think about 6 seeds. So I'm really excited for next growing season to have a lot of seeds. I plan to save those. My 7th grader is itching. She just likes being in that community of school, and we haven't been able to find a homeschool environment that fits that. In the area we live, it's just hard to find people available. It's hard to connect. And even my 5th grader. So next year there'll be 8th and 7th, I think. Ooh, I bet I can set you here. We'll see. There'll be our 6th and 7th, 6th and 8th, right? So my 8th grader, oh, that's better. So my 8th grader, you can see how fat my thighs have gotten, but we're gonna be all right with that. I'm wearing shorts. My 8th grader will be 8th grader. She's like, can I just skip 8th grade so I can go to high school and I can go be around people? Because I'm willing. I'm like, if you want to go to high school, not a problem. And I can't wait to tell you what's going on with my oldest. Oh my goodness, with her high school experience. And it's like, for what she needed, the perfect high school experience ever. For her, we're gonna say that. But my 8th grader, she just wants to skip, and I'm like, you're not skipping, because I feel like once you get into high school, I want the ball rolling for you to dual enroll, and that's a lot to take on in 4 years when you should have 5 years to get there. But to squish it down, I don't really want to do that for her. So with that, at the end of this year, I'm like counting down. We got a few more weeks left to bring my kids home. I'm going to keep my younger ones home. So I'll have 4 at home next year. And that's been kind of making me want to have a conversation with y'all about one of the things I've been struggling with. And I don't want to really do it in this video, but definitely leave me your comments and questions and ideas. So when I make the video, I will make the video, I can share with you, like, yeah, that's what I'm dealing with. or what I figured out. But what I've been kind of struggling with, and I've been having a hard time with, is when my youngest two are 6 and 8. So going into next year, they'll be 6 and 8. By age, that would be 3rd and 1st grade. And remember, what would be my 3rd grader, he would actually be going into 2nd grade because I held him back because of his speech and because of his he couldn't phonetically understand because he didn't understand how to say it. So he had a really hard time with phonetics on that and reading. So I held him back for reading, but I think he really could move into a 3rd grade curriculum almost. He's very, very close. So I would have a 3rd and 1st grade. On the books, it's a 2nd and 1st grader, not a 3rd and 1st grader. And what I have a hard time with is when I started out homeschooling and I had a 1st and 3rd grader, I was all in. I was 10 years younger or 8 years younger. And I was all in. I was very excited. And I feel I have this really hard time about, I don't feel as excited, and I feel bad about that. And I'm tired, and I'm trying to get, but at the same time, I do feel this like burden or this lightning, because to be honest, I'm only juggling 4 kids, not 6 kids. And what I've noticed is over the years, having 6 to load up to go do something is actually harder than I thought it would be, because those pesky, stinking teenagers, they grumble, they complain, and to be honest, they kind of sometimes, without meaning to, take the wind out of my sail to go do something. It's just easier not to. Thank you, Darcy. I'm so sorry. It has been a while. And it's not that it was intentional. It's just like, well, I'll get on it next week, and and each week rolls by. I have been gardening, and it's been such a peaceful thing, but then things have gotten busy, and one of my gardens looks very poor. Hey, Claudia, because I forget to water it in the morning and at night. So that's not good. And it makes me like, okay, I can't really do my system this way. I need to figure out another system. So, morning. Hey, Compass. I can't believe you guys are making it here. That's so exciting. I was like, nobody's going to want to show up. I've been gone too long. So anyways, I've really been contemplating in my heart how to handle or how to plan things. And one of the big parts is just getting out of the house with the kids. It's so easy to sit at home. And I was really excited to have my middle kids at home with me this year, and just the 2 of them, because I felt like I'd have a lot more time to be with them. And oh, thank you. I love you guys too so much. And what has happened is I lose 2 hours a day in transporting. So at 7 a.m. I run, and I'll be back around 8 if I don't like run an errand, because that's a great time to run an errand, or back at 8. But then it's like I've gotten up, I've gotten everybody together, I kind of got a cup of coffee, I kind of put something on, got them in the car, drove them, and I come home and I'm just like, I need to decompress. So then it's like another good hour for me before I'm like ready to do something with them. And then what happens is I have to pick them up at 2:30. So I leave around 2 o'clock and I won't be back till 3. So I have this constraint of a small amount of time, but then it at first is very motivating, leaving, coming and going and having these things, but now I find it very restricting to go do things. So I have to make sure we're back in time, and did I get that one-on-one, and then the rush of them coming home at the end of the day to try and help them. And I miss, what it comes down to is, as much as I thought I would want them gone and doing things, I miss the thing I didn't want the most, and that was the slowness of the day. I miss the very leisureliness we had of the day, even though I felt like we weren't getting things done, and I felt like things weren't happening, and they, in some ways, but I miss that leisure, because I mean, they're doing this stuff at school, but in the whole thing of it, I don't think they're doing that much more by being in school, and yet I feel like we don't have that time together as we do. And one of them that's been happening is like, And this is normal stuff, like they're gonna fight. My 15-year-old and my 13-year-old, they are at it all the time. And so the other day, last week, we had an orthodontist appointment, and then I had to get things done. So they spent most of the morning with each other. And they're fighting and bickering like they normally do. And about 2 hours into it, because it's really just the two of them, and I had to go to Sam's, and I take them to Sam's, and something clicks. And it was like, oh, wait, I like you. I like you too. Oh, we have so much fun when we're together. And they went from bickering to this team against mom. So it becomes against mom, which it doesn't bother me. It's actually quite hilarious. They're very funny. And so they just get hilarious, and they're giggling, and they're, you know, they're just not causing trouble, but just, you know, pushing my envelope a little bit. And I love it because it reminds me of my dad, and I miss my dad so much. And it was his kind of humor that they do. Sorry, I hope it's not too loud out here. It was his kind of humor that they tend to do. And so they just get going, and it's funny because then we met up with my mom, and my mom's like, wow, what are they doing? Why are they doing this way? And I'm like, yeah, you're going to want to change your name, because they're going to be like, me, all through the store. And I'm like, no, they just remembered they liked each other a couple hours ago, so it'll be this way until they break up, and, you know, until they have to go separate ways, and then they'll forget that they like each other again. So, I mean, that's just the normal stuff of it. So I miss that kind of downtime, and I look forward to bringing that back. But I opened up a can of worms that can't be unopened, like the Pandora box. And one of that was working. Like, I wanted that, and I know we all struggle with it, that validation to feel like I'm contributing, not even financially. I don't even know if I care if somebody telling me like, thank you for getting that done. Thanks for having that. Could you do this for me? And coming off politely and being able to do all those things. And that can of worms was, I started like engineering on the side. Well, it is not deep work. It's not intense work on some parts, like as it could be. It's not nearly what it could be. But it's another place my mind is attentive to, which makes it even harder. And I'm like, can I just go back to the homeschool mom and not feel so overwhelmed? And I'm always dealing and struggling with being overwhelmed and coming to that place, right? So I'm struggling with that. And then one of the things I've been struggling, I feel like, you know, so since the last time I talked to you, I turned 43, and I've been off aspartame, which has been huge. And, you know, I kind of made that announcement, like, I am done dieting. I feel like I've created myself into a definite unhealthy balance with food, like doing keto, trying Trim Healthy Mama, the way Weight Watchers has evolved. I really feel like I've done more damage to myself than going forward. And so I've been kind of on this struggle, and I'm going to tell you, I've been losing weight. I went to school, and like, I didn't change my weight, and I was kind of eating like garbage, but I don't think I had the time to eat very often. And I kind of came home thinking, all right, man, I'm going to get back on it. And I just kind of felt like, one, I was too exhausted. I was so exhausted, definitely dealing with burnout by the time I left the school, you know, teaching at the school, that then I started making rum cakes for Christmas. You know, it just kind of eroded to the point I put on 40 pounds between, I don't know, by March. 40 pounds, so 10 pounds a month. And I'm just like, I'm not going to diet anymore, but I've been off soda. I haven't had a soda, I think, since March. So now we're in May. So I'm close to 2 months without soda. Just subscribe to your channel. Glad I found you. I'm glad you're here, Lindsay. And I've been off soda, and I've been off aspartame. So I'll say I'm knowingly off aspartame because I feel like it sneaks into things that you don't realize are there. So I'm trying to be very careful that I'm not. And I've been reading, like, it takes a year to get aspartame out of your body. And I'm going to tell you, I never doped up with aspartame. I never was an aspartame user until 20 years ago when I started Weight Watchers. That's when I became an aspartame user. And I'm listening to the links of cancer and let's see, I just turned 44 on Thursday and doing keto. I lost a little weight on, not a whole lot. I feel like I'm always mentally, wait, how do I do it? I'm always mentally and physically exhausted, not sure what to do anymore. That's where like I am. I'm always mentally exhausted. And one of the things that started happening was, this is why I told my chiropractor. I said, I feel like my body signed up for geriatrics and didn't tell me about the membership at all. And, you know, and I felt like I went from feeling so good to feeling so old so quickly. And so I'm always exhausted, and it's so crazy. Like, I've always worked out. And in this last year, I don't have any desire to walk. I don't have any desire to move. And my husband, who used to lift weights, run cross country in high school, and was running when I met him, about the time we got married, he just stopped. And he's been living on credit, as we say. He's just been living on credit all this time. And he got to the point, he was like, he's a little man anyways, and so he's like starting to bow up. And I'm like, man, you look old. And the turning point was while we're building the house, or no, he got into a car accident. And the accident was this van with a ton of batteries, so it was really heavier than it should have been, rear-ended him. It couldn't stop, and it rear-ended him. And he absorbed all that impact in his back. And so he has really bad issues with his lower back. And in physical therapy, they had him doing stretches. So he started doing these stretches, and he was feeling better with stretches. And then he's like, you know, I'm going to go back to running. So for almost a year now, I think we'll be a year next month, he has been running every other day about 1 mile to 3 miles. And he's always like, come with me. And it's like the first time in my life, I don't want to. You know, and it's crazy and it's so hard. And he's like, I don't get it. You know, for years you begged me to come with you, and now I'm here doing it. Come with me. And, you know, part of that, I'm like, well, is that an emotional response of, you know, I'm digging my heels in, let me pitch a fit because you didn't do it with me, I'm not doing it with you. And that's really not it. I had to come to that. That's not it. Because what I've been dealing with, and when I was talking to the chiropractor, is inflammation. Great job on the soda. It's hard. I put soda down January 2020, and I've passed the point where it's tempting, but people still act like I'm crazy, right? And it's hard, you know, and I'm drinking more water, but it's hard. It is actually very hard. And what I'm doing now is really crazy hard, but I'm getting through it. So, I didn't realize it was inflammation. And as I'm dealing with my chiropractor, what had started happening, I got a weed eater for my birthday. I was so excited. I have this weed eater, and I drink flavored sparkling water instead of soda. I have to, it's kind of like an alcoholic. I can't go in the bar. You know, I can't, I got to watch out for the sparkling soda, because next thing I know, I'm drinking the soda without meaning to or wanting to. It's just slippery slope. But what had happened was I thought I'd pulled a muscle here, right here, if you've had that, from pulling the cord and getting, you're going to try and rush me? I was just having a quick mama chat. You want to say hi?
To who?
Your version of Good Girl Moonshine gets me going when I'm tired. Oh, yeah, I like that. I'm having mama chat on YouTube. You want to say hi?
Hi, YouTube.
Look, they're like, come work with us. You going to get in it?
No.
No. How about you? You want to say hi?
No.
You want to be like, I'm the one that wants to go to high school and get paid, right?
You told me I couldn't.
I'm not, yeah, you're not allowed. I told them that already. Anyway, they're so funny. They're giving you high waves.
Hi.
You hear, hi.
Ow!
There they go. So, I had this pulling, and it just kept getting worse, and then I realized I had, no, you're going to distract me. Get out of my strawberries.
Yeah, but
I don't get rid of them because I'm trying to make this all about me. I'm getting rid of them because I won't remember I'm talking to you. My ADHD will go pew, haywire. But so I realized I had tennis elbow, and it was so bad. Like at night, it is the worst. Can you still drink kombucha? I am drinking kombucha. I still drink kombucha, even with what I'm doing now, because I have to have some balance. And I'll tell you why I still drink it. I still drink it and I still make it. And now I feel guilty if I buy it because it's so expensive, but I still make it. I'm having issues where I'm like stretching my arm out at night because I'm still somewhat sore, but the pain was going into is literally the tendon that's running. And then was in my shoulder. And then like all of a sudden, like if I think the weed eater got it started, but then it started coming in the other arm. And then it started in the knee. So this knee, I did a medium MCL tear when I was in college and it ripped. Well, I have problems every once in a while, but not a lot of problems. And it started swelling, like really big swelling. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? And on top, let's not forget, I've got GERD, really bad GERD. But if you notice, I'm not coughing or clearing my throat. So we're doing better. Good morning. Excited to see you here. Thank you, Rachel. Go ahead, do those. She's like, Mom, I want to do this. And go ahead. She's going to tie dye, or she's going to do the spray paint dye with her, with a pair of white Crocs as a gift for somebody. Okay. So I'm running into all these issues and I just feel miserable. And let me just say, and I'm up a lot and I'm running into, nothing can have pressures. So I've been loving, well, I do love the tops, Walmart tops. I can actually wear these right now because of what I'm doing, but I couldn't because these are old school. I got these out, Goodwill. So the old school where back when women had a waist and they didn't come straight up, they're old school like that. So, I'm like, I put them on. I'm like, oh, this is what youth feels like. I remember these, this fits. But I got them at Goodwill, so I don't know how old they are. But I've been wearing a lot of elastic waist. I'm like, I don't care because any pressure on my stomach hurts so badly because of the GERD. And so I'm talking to my chiropractor because, I see her every other week. She really probably has the best. She's the only person that has the best feel in the gauge of where I'm at physically and my health. And we're talking, and I'm like, I just feel inflamed. And she's like, your inflammation is off the charts. And amen, comfort is key. And I'm there. Oh, let me rewind. Let me do sidestep rabbit trail. We went to this big gala. It was like 100-year celebration. And so it was this big gala, and it was formal. And I had to talk myself. Because here's one of the things I've been, and we've talked about this in the past, like self-image, dealing with self-image. And it's just like, you don't have to be skinny. The lie is you have to be skinny to be beautiful. And I really am at a point that I am comfortable with the size I am. Even with the stomach poked out, I am comfortable because I'm learning that beauty isn't the size of your waist. And the lie I've been lied to all my life is a lie of the devil. It's never, it's not real. And this is a way to control me. This is a way that makes me a slave to food issues, and that's not what God wants for me. And at the same time, slothfulness is sinful, and just gorging yourself and eating, and whatever. So, and I'm just going to say that. And where you sit with that with the Lord is between you and him. And I'm not saying anything on that part about it, because I'm going to have people like, oh, so you're saying no, I'm not saying that. But that's between you and the relationship with the Lord on what you need to be doing. And I'm trying to be more mindful of what does God have intended for me. So I had to talk myself. Look, I just dropped 5 people are like, peace out. I don't want to hear that. So what, I was at a bridal shop, and I was sitting outside the bridal shop, and I was just like, sister, you fat. We know you fat. Everybody knows you fat. Do not try to go into that bridal shop. This is me talking to myself in the mirror. Don't go in that bridal shop thinking you're going to get skinny when you pick out a dress. Don't go in there trying to find some dress that I'm glad you're still here. But you know what I mean? Like when you want to go get a beautiful dress and you're fixing to spend $100, um, $100 on a dress that's gonna have to get fitted. You kind of want to you're like, I'm gonna wear every piece of Spanx that's out there. I'm gonna look like, I'm not gonna look like something I'm not. I know I'm fat, I'm fat. So why am I trying to lie to you or to me? I mean, everybody knows what's going on. I can't hide it. And I just said, your job is to go in there and look beautiful, not skinny. And I don't know how many of y'all need to practice that when you go shopping. Your job is to be beautiful. And you are beautiful. It's not to be skinny. It's not to be a figure. It's not to look like some image. It is to go and find the clothes that brings the best out in you. And listen, so I went in there, and I mean, I ain't lying. We had to look in the extra large XXL section. I'm in the big girl section, and I'm just gonna tell you right now, if you have a Hispanic owned bridal shop, those are the ones to go, because sisters know how to dress it at any size. I'm just telling you. And it does help. It's my best friend's sister, so there you go. But I'm just like, Anna, I need this. We know we're working with this. Help me. And I'm like, it's semi-formal, so we tried to do the cocktail. And girls, I'm not gonna lie, I want to feel comfortable. So I felt like those just made it like I was trying to be whatever. And I just wanted something beautiful. And right, you got to go to those shops because they know. And I ended up getting, and it's like I tried all these things, and like, and if I wouldn't have had that self-talk, I would have totally have had a meltdown in there, because I don't know what it is about a bridal shop mirrors. You don't just see every curve, you see every fold. If you know what I mean, you're like, oh, how did that happen? Because they want to give you full perspective. You're in there and you're like, I'm seeing myself in a vision I have not seen before. And I'm like, it's okay. It doesn't mean you're not going to look beautiful. And if I would have just decided who I was in there without the dress, I would have been torn down. By myself. I would have just been like, there ain't nothing we can do about that. Just take it on home. You are not worthy. But I chose not to believe the lie. And I got this beautiful dress. Beautiful dress. I want to lose weight to feel better physically, not to feel better about myself. I'm old enough to care about comfort. Right. And and that's just it. Like, I look at it and I'm like, I don't judge another woman by the size of her waist. I look at her completely. I'm like, I have to look at myself completely. So I went in there. I ended up with the most gorgeous dress. It was a little too long, so I wore really big heels. And this woman, I should have gotten, here's what I always go back to. You don't need to wear a heel to be sophisticated, because Audrey Hepburn wore ballet slippers for breakfast at Tiffany's all the time. And she, listen, go get yourself a good reason to go out and go make yourself up, because yeah, girl, this is how I'm representing every day, just about. And I don't do my makeup, I don't do my hair, and I don't get, whatever. And I'm just like, and one of the things is I went all out, but I didn't try to do it from my own closet. I went out and bought the things I needed to buy, but I was able to do so. And my husband was wowed. And I teach my kids, judge by heart and not by appearance, right? And so, but it was just nice. I was able to find this beautiful dress. I'll have to post a picture. I'll post a picture on Instagram from that day, because I just was like, I don't even know who I am. Look at me and all dressed up. And my kids were like, what, Mom, you can do this? I'm like, I forgot I could do this. And that's some of the stuff too, is like always being home, always homeschooling, especially with COVID this last year. There's been no, like, I don't want to go on dates. I like to go to these like fundraiser things, because there's really good food. There's typically music. There's a lot of people feeling charitable, or, whatever. There's games, there's just really a good mixer. And nobody's looking to, It's just a really, people are more apt to meet each other, and I love those things. And with COVID, nothing's been going on, and it was just like, oh yes, this was right. This is nice. So we did that. And my whole point was like, you know, I'm good where I'm at, and sometimes it's hard. I still get caught up. So anyway, dealing with inflammation in my GERD, and I'm talking to my chiropractor about it. I'm like, listen, I'm having these issues, and she recommended I go off. She's doing something similar to this, but she's in a full out meet, and I'm doing like as it works for me. But I'm on day four of 6 weeks of 42 weeks. So I've got 38 weeks after that, 38 days after this. No dairy, no grain, no legumes, no sugar. So it's supposed to be like a combination of like paleo, low glycemic, and honestly, I'm just kind of doing no cheating paleo more than anything. And I'm intermittent fasting, which I'm an anti-intermittent fasting. I don't care to intermittent fast at all. But I'm doing this, but I'm like, okay, my mindset is I'm doing this for 6 weeks. I'm not doing this until it's not whole 30, but it could be a whole 30 because it's a lot of eliminations. And at first when she was telling me this, I was like researching. I'm like, is this whole 30? Is this paleo? What is this? And actually then I have a health coach, best friend, that I'm like, okay, listen to me. Tell me, does this sound right? Let me get a second opinion. How do I do this? Because I really wanted to get a book and just open a book and have every resource. I don't think that cat's going to end up in the video. This cat is being so crazy. Did I tell you I have 2 cats? Sorry, squirrel. Education, or ADHD is popping through my brain. Anyways, I really wanted a book, and I'm researching like inflammation diet so I can do what I do best and become legalistic. And I don't want to be legalistic. I don't. I need to not, because I get so caught up in the program and not, I guess, the relationship of life. So I looked at a couple things, and so I was told those 4 things. I talked, and I can have potatoes, so I'm like, I got to figure out, because any change is a good change, right? So I'm off grain, I'm off grain, dairy, and sugar, and no aspartame either. No aspartame, no alcohol. I keep thinking somebody's pulling in the driveway. None of that. The goal and the encouragement was to also be low glycemic. So low glycemic fruit, low glycemic vegetables, so like no potatoes, no carrots, no root vegetables, no watermelon, any of that. I was recommended on that, but I'll be honest, I had to cross the line there. Let's see. Compass says our oldest daughter's got married in January. Congratulations. And people were freaking out because apparently no one is supposed to dress fancier than the mother of the bride. I just refuse to play the game. There you go. Well, I didn't know that was a rule. To be honest, I didn't know that was a rule. I didn't even choose my clothes until 2 days before the wedding. And sometimes it's just hard. Like, you're like, I don't know. I do enjoy getting dressed up and getting fancy. I actually like that. And I want my kids to enjoy that too. Because I think it's good when you can kind of be comfortable in all levels of society, the high end and the bottom end. And we try to do that well, the best we can. So, day 4. One of the hard things, so I'm supposed to intermittent fast till 11. Never heard that rule either. Yeah. I'm supposed to intermittent fast or not eat until 11 to 7. And I was thankful when, my chiropractor's like, but I have to have coffee and I have to put a creamer in it. I have to have something. And I'm like, yeah, so do I. So I can have my cup of coffee. And I've been playing with it. I put it on Instagram about creamers. So I'm not supposed to have dairy or sugar, and I don't want aspartame. So finding that balance. I got the nut pods. I didn't like that one at all. And I got another one that's like a half and half with oat milk. And I'm not even sure if oats I should be doing. But I'm like, come on, it's a better choice than what I would have. Isn't that ridiculous? Oh, y'all are having that one. Um, so I didn't, get into that one. I was trying to find the thing, trying to find what to put in my coffee. And I'm just trying to make a better choice. Just a better choice. I did find this powder, and I'm not a powdered creamer drinker, but it's called lean cream, and it's powdered in the coffee section, and it's got no sugar. It doesn't have, so that one was better today. But I bought 4 or 5 of them at $4 or $5 a piece, so $20 to find the creamer of choice. Um, and I'm not expecting perfection. If I could just drink a black, it would be better. But Lord, hold my soul. There's something, I don't know. I need that comfort in my coffee. But actually, I've been doing good. I'd have 1 cup of coffee. The thing where I'm like, I hope I'm not doing aspartame, but this makes it so much easier. Are the Zip Fizzes you get from Sam's. They're like these like vitamin B12. Like if you take 2, it's a multivitamin for the day. Um, and intermittent fasting, it just helps with that. But I've been able for the last 3 days past hold that 11 to 7 p.m. actually pretty easily, and then it comes to eating. So I think every day for the last 3 days I've had a half an avocado. And that's the thing too, is like in the past, and I'd end up, I'm like, I'm keto, so I'd eat a lot of cheese, a lot of fat, and not very many vegetables. And with this, I've been really focusing on eating the vegetables and just try to make it normal, just omitting the part. And I was talking to somebody, and they're like, you want to change your body and change your life. Eat half your food should be at least vegetables and fruit, if not 3/4 of your food. And so I'm using this time as I go through the 6 weeks to figure out, like, how do I bring that back without being on a diet? Because I don't want to be on a diet. But I will tell you, the goal is happening. I'm getting the results I want. My arm, like, I'm a little sore here, but before with the inflammation, it felt like my skin was ripping. It felt like I literally felt like I would look and there was going to be an open wound of just mangled flesh by the way the tendon felt. It just felt like it was tearing my flesh. And it's sore, but it's not inflamed. My other arm is fine. My knee, the swelling has gone down. I'm surprised you didn't go through a detox. The first, I don't know, I guess there was a lot of stuff that was kind of immediate. And here's the thing, I've been doing a lot of stuff around here where I'm like, oh, I'm kind of dizzy and my head hurts. But I don't know if it's because of the heat or the detox or both. I've been doing regular half and half. I just got used to it now. Well, and that was my part too, is it's dairy, and I'm trying to stay away from the dairy for now. And I didn't take in a lot of dairy, but I think I took in more cheese than I realized. So, the first night or the first day or whatever, my arms hurt the worst they've ever hurt. My arms hurt, my legs hurt, all my joints hurt, and my skin was so itchy. I just was so itchy all over, and I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. I'm like, this cannot be normal, and I'm just like, well, I'm itched all night. And then like the second night, I didn't sleep very well. And then the next night I slept better, so I've had some things show up. I think I just missed something. I have the same issue with the diet. I just want to eat to be a lifestyle, not focusing on what I can't have because I get legalistic to the point of burnout. Yes, I burn out. But what's been funny, and I always notice this, when I'm being intentional about what I eat, I don't crave as much. But when I'm not, I'm like, I'm just going to be comfortable. I'm going to eat. And one of the things I did was when I got off of soda, I went on to sweet tea. And listen, that is like, sweet tea has always been fertilizer for my butt. And I always said that. And yeah, it showed up. So I'm not even drinking. I've had like a little bit of tea here and there to go. But so I'm using like found a salad dressing that doesn't have those things in it. The no dairy is really what keeps me from Whole30, but no sugar is hard because sugar is everywhere, absolutely everywhere. Um, I went off sweet tea for doing this because I realized what was happening was not doing the soda. And I mean, I did come down about 5 pounds, which is good, or 5 or 6 pounds. And I'm not trying to keep on the scale to be like significance, but as a kind of a measure of how things are going. Um, but things I've eaten was I have like lettuce, like romaine, have an avocado, um, the everything bagel seasoning. If you've not had that with an avocado, you have missed out. And then like some rotisserie chicken, or I had some cooked pork, just something like a little bit of meat. I had mushrooms with it one time, which was really filling. It was really good. I've weaned myself to a quarter cup of sugar and 12-cup pot of tea. No one else would drink it. See that? See, it's a step in the right direction. And I'll put the dressing on it. And I've eaten that for lunch a couple times. I ate that for dinner last night. And then for dinner, it might be like the one night I bought the big rotisserie chicken. And actually, I'm going to make bone broth out of that today. I got to get started. I forgot to do that. But I did the rotisserie chicken again. And then I had roasted asparagus and mushrooms and tomatoes. And I ate that for dinner one night. The night before last, day 2, we butchered a pig. And so on one of the hams, I really didn't want a big ham. I've dealt with that too much. I don't want to get a big ham. So I had them actually dice it up into like little nuggets, and they're almost like chicken nuggets. They're so like a chicken breast. But then they have the flavor of almost a steak and that savoriness. So I quickly cooked those up, and I had that with Brussels sprouts. I did roasted Brussels sprouts. And then yesterday for lunch, so I kind of flipped my lunch and my dinner. We had this big picnic. I actually run it, and it's like this 100-year-old picnic that's now my job to do. And we had like 100+ people, and everybody brings a covered dish. How in the world do you stay on plan? But I did. I stayed on track, and I just kept myself busy with everybody. And then from there, I just went ahead and I think they had Boston butts they had done, and Lord knows I hope it didn't have sugar in the rub, but it is what it is. I can only do so much. And then I had cooked green beans, and then somebody had made collards, and I just had those 3. I didn't have any dessert, and going on that low glycemic goal, I've been kind of avoiding watermelon, and it's watermelon season. And I ended up eating watermelon at the thing. And I'm like, you know what? That's still a better decision. And I don't really think the watermelon's inflammatory. I mean, it's got a high sugar, but I'm like, it's sugar as God made it, so it should be good. You know, I'm eating it in the way it's supposed to be eaten. I'm not, they're not adding sugar to it. But I stayed away from everything else. And I'm like, I'd rather be over here eating watermelon than getting into the cookies and the cake. And it's hard because as the organizer, guess what came home? The leftover cookies and cake. And so today I just don't want to be in the kitchen till 11 o'clock because the cookies and the cake are still in the kitchen. So I'm just more like keep myself busy till 11 o'clock, and then I can eat and go about the things I'm going. So that's what's going on. I'll be honest, in the last few days, I think I've dropped a lot of inflammation weight, like a couple of pounds of just water retention in my joints. I can feel that. My waist has gone down because, like I said, I'm wearing my old school, that come in waist, kind of like, and I can button them up. And I'm like, cool, here we go. I'll be taking measurements of like my neck, my waist, my arm, my thigh. But I haven't got to that yet because, life's busy. I said I was doing a short one. It's already 45 minutes. What? Anyways, I miss all of you. I'm going to let you go. Try and get back into the habit of doing things. I'm going to show you my garden real quick before I go. So I have my loofahs here. Let me flip it. I gotta remember how to flip it. But look, my tomatoes are coming in. I never did this before, but I've actually, I don't know if you can tell, I've trellised my tomatoes. Like I have bamboo everywhere. And oh no, my bamboo broke from the weight. I'm gonna have to re-secure that. Maybe put another one up there and kind of strap it to it. But I've got tomatoes. I've got some eggplant. I have lots of strawberries in here. Beautiful. I've been loving it. I just started saving seeds. Like there's my little chair. So my loofahs I'm so excited about. I've never grown loofahs. Thank you. I'm going to try and do my best to have a good rest of the day. My carrots. More tomatoes. I still haven't got my, I really like having the boxes. I'm having a hard time out there and I've got to do it different. I still have kale. I got to harvest my red cabbage. I think I'm going to cook one of these today, my cabbages. So I had no bugs in them and look how beautiful that is. And as it's getting hotter, I guess they're sending out the thing of come eat me. And then I've just planted some more tomatoes and peppers over there. But, and I've got to take that out to do herbs, but I haven't gotten that far. So I'm leaving them for the bees for now. Celery, more tomatoes. These are scallions, right? These beautiful scallions are right out of like grocery store, like we had them and then we put them up. But I planted lots of, something, what is it called? Marigolds. And then I have things like that's basil. These are gourds I'm growing. And they're really, really taking off. And I've just given them a place to trellis. And they really seem to like it. So I'm going to have to do more. But I might have to reinforce that one. I can't believe it broke. And then this is like my little nursery. This is a hot mess. I know. I had to move it. But I'm working on herbs right here. Some herbs. And then I need to plant these. But I can't decide where I want to plant them. So I love y'all. And I'm going to tell you, if you read chapter 4 of 1 Peter, it really hit home to me yesterday. And it talked about having hospitality without grumbling. Without grumbling and complaining, especially hospitality to people you don't know or maybe people you don't want to, sometimes family. And it really made me have to do a gut check. Because like it or not, I'm tired. I want to go to somebody else's house and I don't want to clean my house. And just realizing like how I might be getting in the way of not doing that for God, not being that part for God of, and I mean, listen, there were some years that it was like, I'm a Proverbs 31 wife. Who wants to watch me clean my house from head to toe and show you how perfect my home was? And not that that's a bad thing. That's great. That's awesome. But there got to be a point of like idolatry through that. And I've never been a house cleaner. I'm not, that's not my joy or whatever. And things clutter up so bad. And then I want to grumble about doing it. So today I'm really like, I'll clean that house so I can be ready to host things without grumbling. Let's see their hands. Come here and show off your hands. All right, she did her painting. She's letting them dry. Let's see it. Let's see your hands. Oh, great. All right, I'm going to put them to work now. I will talk to you later. Wait, what does it take to get that stuff off?
I don't know. It's just spray paint.
It's just spray paint.
It's not even gone.
I think you got to take a scrub brush. I think you're supposed to wear gloves. I will be back with y'all soon. Love y'all. And I pray that your day is amazing. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this time that you let us come together, dear Lord. You know the struggles and the journey that we're all on, Lord. Let us just come to you, be within your word, be prayerful on you, and just guide our hearts and our minds and our eyes to your will to be our own. Dear Heavenly Father, for those that do not know you, Lord, bring that person in with them. And just, if you do not know the Lord, I'm praying for you. The Lord is ready for you. All you have to do is admit that you're a sinner. Believe that the Lord sent his son to die for you, because we cannot get there on our own. We cannot be good enough. We would never be good enough for heaven. We can only get there by the love of God and letting Jesus take our sins and confess those sins to God and accept him in your heart. And man, when you do, it's amazing. Dear Lord, for those that need that prayer, Lord, be with them. Lord, in your son's name we pray. Amen. All right, you guys, I'm going to see you later. Peace out. Ooh.